Indy 500, also for Peyton Coyne. Mexico's Adrian Fernandez is back for his second year with Rick Gallis Racing. The 30-year-old has 13 years of racing experience, starting in Formula V. Mauricio Gugelmin is from Brazil. Last year as a rookie, he finished 11th. His background is Formula One. He was the Brazilian national go-kart champion at age 17. Brian Herta is in his second year. He was injured at Toronto last year, but struggled back to start driving again, only to be re-injured after qualifying for today's race. But the young man from Southfield, Michigan, who began racing in 1982, will start 33rd in his backup car. 3 years ago, Hideshi Masuda was a reporter at this race for Japanese television. Last year, he crashed while running 7th just before the halfway. In 1980, he was not yet driving, living a more traditional role in Kawasaki, Japan. Scott Sharp comes from a racing family, too. His father was a successful road racer. Last year, he finished 16th. This year, he drives for A.J. Foyt. Last year's Rookie of the Year was Jack Villeneuve. He started 4th and finished 2nd. Today, he starts 5th, driving again for Barry Green. Since last year, he's scored 2 IndyCar wins. As a freckled-faced 9-year-old in 1980, he already had years of racing experience.
A lifelong dream about to be realized for Andre Ribeiro. The emotions of this moment, Andre.
It's incredible, so difficult to say. This month has been so good that now it's just a dream come true.
We hope it's a good, safe day for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jerry?
Christian Fittipaldi, experienced as a driver with 3 years in Formula One, yet your first ever oval track super speedway race today. What advice have you gotten from famous Uncle Emo?
I think he taught me a lot this past 2 weeks, and I'm sure that with all his advices, I'm very well prepared for the race now. Let's get the show rolling and let's see if that's true, right?
Emerson, what are the emotions as race time draws near and knowing you will not compete today?
Well, Jerry, it's very, very difficult to come back here after 11 years and not be able to compete, but I'm looking for next year. Marlboro Team Penske will be coming strong back again here, and then I race together with Christian next year, and I wish him all the best. I'm sure it's going to be a great race. We're going to enjoy the race today. He's going to do a good race.
Two-time winner, always a gentleman. Jack?
Jack, second place last year, your rookie year. What did you learn from that run that you can apply to this Indy 500?
Well, from running here, you get used to running in the traffic at high speeds, and you get used to the amount of downforce you lose being behind someone else. So you know, there's not going to be any unknowns this year, a lot less anyway. And last year I was with a great team, and this year's the same team, and all the people in Team Green, I know they're going to do a great job during the race.
Paul?
Well, the minutes continue to tick away to the start of the engines. There's turn 2, the southeast turn on the outside of the exit, the original VIP suites where Bobby Unser is watching. Turn 2 is an action spot. The collective tiny mistakes of the front straight in turn 1 catch up with the drivers in this turn. In 75, Tom Sneva got caught up with a slower car and cut his car in half. It was a great surprise when he actually walked away from this accident with the help of his rescuers. The fans now filling into the southeast vista there, a huge grandstand that gives a view of turns 1, 2, 3, and all the way down the backstretch.
Until you try to win a championship, you think it's no big deal. But then you find out how tough it really is. And you realize you can't gamble on anything. Not on the car, not on the engine, and certainly not on the tires. You just got to go with the best. Goodyear Eagles, the proven winners.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
It isn't easy winning one of these things, and without Goodyear, it's almost impossible.
Andretti has appeared on Tim Allen's home improvement show here on ABC. Tim's at many of the races, done a little road racing as well. Now let's continue our look at the starting 33. Here's Sam Posey.
Well, Paul, the second of our 3 grid groups is comprised of drivers who have raced here from 3 to 7 times. Sophomores, you might say. None of them has ever won the race, but 2 or 3 are among today's hottest favorites. Robbie Gordon brings to this race a swashbuckling confidence. 8 weeks ago, he won his first IndyCar race at Phoenix. Today, we'll be listening to his radio communication with his car owner, Derek Walker. A racer all his life, When he pedaled to this win in 1980, he was just 11. Stefan Johansson, the Swede with a taste for fine art. After 9 years in Formula One, he switched to Indy cars, and today races here for the 3rd time. 15 years ago, age 23, he became the Formula 3 champion of England. When you think of Buddy Lazier, think of Vail, Colorado, his home, and skiing, the passion he shares with racing. A dark horse here in his green Menard, Buddy has moved fast all his life, on pavement and snow. Another driver who loves skiing, Davy Jones. In his first Indy, he was a 22-year-old kid, a protege of A.J. Foyt. Today, Davy is 30 and hungry for the big-time success that has eluded him so far. Like so many in today's Indy field, he began in Formula 4s. Japan's Hiro Matsushita, whose family owns Panasonic, is one of the richest men ever to drive a racing car. Lackluster in 3 Indy 500 starts, he has suddenly found real speed. Scott Pruitt, his career is back on track after his terrible crash 5 years ago. He has been Firestone's chief test driver for their historic return to Indy. 15 years ago, a surprise birthday party. Scott and Firestone could surprise the field today. Lynn St. James, she had to work desperately hard to land last-minute backing to race her 4th consecutive Indy. Lynn has achieved something that in 1980 seemed impossible, that a woman could be a threat here, not just a curiosity. Paul Tracy, the explosively brilliant Canadian, has excelled everywhere except Indy. And it's the same story for his team, Newman Haas, which has never won at Indy. 15 years ago, at age 11, Paul had already been racing 6 years. Like Tracy, Jimmy Vasser is a lifelong racer. He sits in a car at least the equal of the one he drove to 4th place here last year. He's 29, 15 years down the road from his junior year in high school. Eddie Cheever, an American who lived most of his childhood in Europe, shy, at times even aloof, the perfect contrast with A.J. Foyt, for whom he drives. During the last 15 years, Eddie and his wife Rita have had fancy addresses: Rome, Monaco, Aspen. Study this face. You might see it in the winner's circle today. Scott Goodyear, Honda engine, Firestone tires, an eclectic mix that could help this Canadian reach the pinnacle of a career he began exactly 15 years ago. Veteran of 7 Indies, Teo Fabi, the Italian with a degree in aeronautical engineering. As a rookie in 1983, he took the pole. He's with a new team with real hope. The other 7-year veteran, Stan Fox, carries an unusual portfolio. He's a midget and sprint car expert who drives an Indy car only once a year, yet he is awesome. 15 years ago, Stan was Wisconsin State midget champ. Stan and the others in this group share one goal: be first across the yard of bricks.
Actors and athletes are attracted to IndyCar racing. Home improvement here in Walker Racing as well, along with Richard Karn and John Elway of the NFL Denver Broncos here to wish Robbie Gordon well. Robbie, what is it going to take for you to pilot your car to victory lane today?
Well, you know, the most important thing for us is to stay clean all day and to run 500 miles. If we can do that, I think we've got an excellent opportunity to win in this race.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Scott Pruitt stands alongside, and Scott, what a terrific comeback story, missing this race the last couple of years. The thousands of miles of testing for Firestone. Under these prevailing weather conditions, what are you expecting from your Firestones today?
Well, I think it's going to be good no matter what. The Firestones are shown all month long. We can run in hot conditions, we can run in cool conditions, and I mean, what I see is going to be a fast race. I hope Patrick gives me a great car. They have every other race, and I'm looking forward to it.
A chance to make history today for Scott Pruitt. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Paul?
Bobby Rahal, winner in 1986, his wife Debbie, as they make their first appearance out in the pit area, just coming out of Gasoline Alley, as many of the drivers now beginning to move toward the pit area. Let's go back into the garage area. Jerry Punch.
Lynn St. James, although you qualified 6th a year ago and start back in row 10 today, for many reasons this must be your most rewarding Indy start to date.
Well, as we know, talent, skill, desire does not ensure that you're going to start the Indy 500, but because sponsors did come through, Whitlock Corporation, Blue Blocker, Ford, Goodyear, those people enabled me to be here. We earned our spot. I'm very proud of that spot, and I want to have the race of my life today.
Well, she was Rookie of the Year back in 1992. After an 11th place finish, she would like to improve on that today. Paul?
There's Davy Jones. He had hoped to drive 2 races here today, one in Indianapolis and then fly to Charlotte, but he wrecked in practice for the Charlotte 600, and so he's going to only drive 500 miles, only 500 miles. Well, they've delayed the start of the engines by about 5 minutes, so it's now 28 minutes until the start of the engines here at Indianapolis as we take a look back at turn number 3, the northeast turn at the end of the long backstretch. It's a guts turn where a driver can set up a pass like Ari Luyendyk and the red and blue car did on Bobby Rahal. Once Ari got past, it ended up being his race all of the way. Watch turn 3. There's turn 3. People already filling those stands all around the racetrack as we move close to the start. There's Scott Goodyear and his wife Leslie. They'll start outside on the front row with his Honda-powered car. Some people think he can win.
The 1995 Miller Pit Stop Competition, brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Thursday, the 19th annual Miller Genuine Draft Pit Stop Competition was held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In the final, defending champions Jacques Villeneuve and Team Green faced Michael Andretti in the Newman Haas Racing Team. The total time in the pit box determines the winner. Team Green, led by Chief Mechanic Kyle Moyer, defeated Newman Haas by 1/10 of a second with a time of 14.556 seconds to win the $25,000 first prize from Miller Genuine Draft.
The all-new Miller Genuine Draft Bobby Rahal Indy car. Awesome when opened up.
We're back live at Indianapolis. There's Paul Newman, great actor, very, very good race driver, one of the co-owners of Michael Andretti's and Paul Tracy's car. Roberto Guerrero, he still holds the track record here at Indianapolis. Many thought that he would lose that honor this year, but he still has it. They didn't get up above his speed. And Danny Sullivan, been 10 years since he won here with that very famous spin and win. There are 3 former winners in the field. Here is our final look at the fastest 33. Our next group is the most experienced and includes the 3 previous winners. Raul Boesel has led 19 laps in the race in his 8 years at the Speedway. Twice, he started on the front row. This Brazilian has been racing since 1980. That was the year that he married Vera. Now they have 2 children. With a decade of experience at Indy, Michael Andretti is driving for the first time without his father in the field. He's led 337 laps, twice as many as any other driver in today's race. In 1980, Michael was graduating from high school in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Roberto Guerrero has been racing Indy 10 years. He started out strong. He is still the current track record holder. The 36-year-old Roberto has been racing since he was 11.